everyone, welcome to another of our craft alongs. As you're aware, we love doing a craft along. It's always nice because you can sit and watch or you can sit and join in. Hopefully it'll give you a bit of inspiration, a few ideas of how you can use our beautiful rhinestone tool, our fabulous rhinestone tool that we're going to be using today. So what we're going to do, we will give you the list of the bits and bobs you will need. So I'm going to pop on my glasses, then I can see. Not that these glasses help much anyway, I'm waiting for new ones. So what you will need is you'll need your hot Fix Rhinestone Applicator, and you'll also need some of your hot gem packs. So I'm going to be using the crystal ones. There's the 30-gram one and the 40-gram one, but obviously I'll get those out and we'll look at those as well. You will also need, but this is not essential, you don't actually need the multimedia tag dies. If you haven't already got those and some Mountboard, then you can just cut a tag, whether it's from grey board or from craft card or black card. You can just make a tag yourself. However, if you have got them, this is a good opportunity to use them, because I know a lot of you will have them in your boxes and drawers and have not used them yet. So we also need some plain blue card and some linen card in blue and cream if possible, because we're going to do it on like a seaside theme. You will also need some Tropic blue Shimmer Inkpad, that's the one I've used. Also some silver embossing powder if you've got that. Coastal Collection stamp, Dance with the Waves, that's just because it's got the beachy sentiments on there. Some extra chunky glitter paste in the Snow Fairy. If you've not got that, you can use some blue, you can use some glitter, whatever you want to do. And a few extras, some ribbon and some twine. And then, obviously, as usual, we always list our tools because we need tools. So we've used the Gemini 2, the guillotine, scissors, tacky glue, a glue tape pen, stamping platform, and if you need it, a wax pickup tool. So what we're going to do first of all, because the rhinestone applicator, if you've not already used yours, and I'm sure you will have if you've got it, but if you haven't, we'll probably, as we're going through using it, I'll probably just explain a few little bits, but we can craft as I'm telling you how to use it, etc. And just to save on time as well, I've also pre-cut my tag with the multimedia tag die, should I say, from the Mountboard. So I've done the largest one, and then I've done the smallest one as well. What I'll do, I'll bring in the little tag here to show you. And I know we've been kind of busy recently. We've been doing Christmas, we've been doing Halloween, we've been doing autumnal products and projects, we've been doing birthday things. So I thought let's do something that represents just, you know, maybe like coastal, a happy, pleasant project. I think we're going to be heading into, obviously, autumn. We're in autumn now, heading into winter. And I think we've kind of done a lot of Christmas. So I thought, okay, let's do something a little bit more beachy for as we come into the new year and start looking at spring and summer. However, another thing that gave me inspiration to do this was with the little crystals at the bottom here. That kind of came as a bit of a mistake actually, because what I did was I knocked some of my crystals over and they kind of just spread out like that on top of some of my card that was on my desk. And I thought, oh, I don't know if any of you've seen, there's a lot of these like pictures and resin tables that people make now, which are like, have sand and rocks and sea, and they have like little shells on there and stuff. And I thought, I think I can kind of try and replicate that. So it's fairly simple, really. The time taken is probably popping those gems on, but that's quite a nice thing to do. So anyway, let me explain how to start with this and how to get your tag going. So what we're going to do now here, we've got the tag, and I've got a piece of cream linen, a piece of blue linen, and a piece of just our double-sided blue cardstock, because I wanted to create like a bit of depth with the sea effect. And I tried it that way, and I tried it this way, I tried it coming this way. And my natural thing was to, if I was looking down from above at beach, it would probably be sand there and sea here. So that's what we're going to do. So first of all, And these are just scraps, by the way. So again, root through some of your bags and your boxes and get some scraps out. Now, it's up to you whether you use the actual linen side or whether you want to use the back piece of it, because on that side it's a little bit more lumpy, whereas on the textured side it's kind of more tightly knitted together. So you wanted to have more texture, then you could do that. You could do it the other way as well, but that's up to you. For now I'm going to do it, I think I'm going to do it like the right way. So the first thing to do is attach some of that with the glue. Now, what you can do as well, if you want to, you can actually put it on there and then trim it with your scissors, or you can cut it with the guillotine. What I probably will do at this stage actually is cut that with the guillotine, just because it's thicker board that we're using rather than card. So I'm going to just probably just pop a little mark on the pokey tool, just then I know where I'm going to cut it to, like that. And then I can just trim that off, and then that will fit nicely. And we'll probably do the same with the blue when we get to putting the blue on. Okay, so let's just pop that to one side. So there we go. So let's pop this onto here now. If you wanted to ink it, you could ink it around the edge. If you don't want to, then you can just leave it clean. I've left mine quite clean. I'm just going to bring in this tacky glue, I think, instead, because you know what it's like. The nozzle dries up, and then let's pull that off there. So we'll take it from the, there we go. I do like the fact that it does that, to be honest, because then you know that once you open it, your glue will flow. Yeah, exactly. I've got so many old kind of glue pots at home that are totally beyond use now, and I think, well, I'll just hang on to them just in case. Should really just throw them out because they're dry. And that's what happens, I think, when we have different climates and then different weather. And as Jamie is saying in my ear, that it changes with the temperature in the atmosphere in the studios, because obviously we've got all the lights on, so it does get very warm. By the time we get to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's quite warm in here, and you very often see us, like I've got changed once or twice. But then we're coming into the colder months now, and I've come in today and I can see there's a heater plugged in next to me, and I was thinking, I don't think I'll need that just yet, but you know, it's there just in case. So what we need to do now, let's bring in our tag here, and then you can see how we are building it up. So again, with this one, I'm going to trim it, but I'm going to tear it first. So what I'm going to do is kind of tear it on an angle. Now, don't worry about if you tear it and you think you've torn it too much. It doesn't matter, because this piece doesn't have to go right down to the bottom here. If you tear it and it's your only piece, it doesn't matter, because we're going to put more on top. So even if that only comes to kind of here, you'll be fine. So let's do a quick, I'm not measuring it as such, but what I want to do is create that angle. So we're going to just grab the card here, the linen card. Now, the beautiful thing about the linen card is it's got a white core. So straight away, as I tear that gives me a beach wave. You know, it really does give me the wave on a beach, because we've got the sea foam on the edge of the wave there. So you can see now how that will be. Now, I quite like that bit. I want to keep this end rather than this end, I think, just because this goes a bit higher up. But again, if you want it to be like the original, you can move it up even higher like that, because this is going to be covered anyway with your darker piece. So, but I think I'm quite happy to kind of keep that. Let's have a look. I don't think it makes that much difference, to be honest. Let's keep that to that side. So what we'll do, we'll trim a bit off this end here. Okay, so I'll bring in my poke tool again, and we can just mark it. Make sure it's lined up with your sandy piece on the other side, obviously, in the bottom there. And then we can trim just along there. So let's bring in our little trusty guillotine again. I'll just pop that on top of there, and I can see where my mark is. So again, we will just trim that. And if you want to, at the same time, why not kill two birds with one stone, as they say, and let's trim a bit of that off as well from there. Not much needs trimming. I was going to do it that way, but I might as well do it this way actually, because that will give me more options for waves as well, won't it? And it'll be less waste as well, as Jamie's pointing out to me there. I'm just going to move that bit off there now, and then I don't cut through that one because we've already trimmed it. So that should be fine now. Grab that one out of there. Okay, so there's a bit of fluff on there. I could see it before and it's still on there, so that's okay. So what we'll do, we'll pop that onto there, and then we've got our other piece here now. So again, we're going to do 2 tears on this one. Now then, what you can do here is you can tear it. So let's tear it like we did with that one. Okay, and again, this is slightly darker, but I thought it was nice to have a bit of a contrast with the like textures and the colours as well. So you can see now we've got that one there. So happy with that one. Okay, like that. And then what we need to do another one. So obviously we're going to overlap a piece as well. So you can keep that one because you might want to do it the other way, or I think this is what I actually did because I didn't have as big a piece as I wanted. I actually used this and then I trimmed it. Obviously that's not wide enough now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another tear about here, and I'm going to do it exactly the same. So we just pull it on that angle like that. Okay, so then we can pop this one onto here like this, and then we can put this one on here. Okay, so you can see then that we've got our layers, which will then go onto the tag there. And if we want to trim any of it off, we can. If we want to move it up, we can. So we've got that option there. So let's pop that on there. Now what I am going to do, I can see that I've got a little, I think when I glued it on, it might have moved ever so slightly, just on one side. So I've got a little bit of an extra overhang there, which I don't really want. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop this on. So we're going to do all 3 layers of the sea. And then once we've done the sea, we will add some of the glitter paste, and that will be drying while we do the other little bits. Okay, so let's pop this one here. Now we did say we'd keep this right at the bottom, didn't we? So let's do that, because that still gives us a nice bit of space on there for our gems as well, our little stones. And again, I've used the crystal ones on here, but as I'm doing this, you know, you could do this with, you could maybe do like a black tag, and you could actually do some blue here. Just get that lined up. It's not quite lining up. It's okay. There we go. That's better. I might still have to trim a little bit off there, but that's okay. So what you could do, you could actually do a black tag maybe, or a dark blue tag, and then do this same thing, but do it in white. So this becomes snow. So you could then do that as like a Christmas tag for maybe on someone's present. You know, there's lots of different ways of doing it. You could do it so it was blue with green at the bottom, and do it or with like leaves, punch some of your autumn leaves out, put them at the bottom and make an autumn leaf. You could do 4 actually, spring, summer, autumn and winter. You know, so you've got tags that you could put in your house, or you could actually put them on presents, or you could put them in a, maybe cut them into squares and then do them in a frame, a 12 by 12 frame. So there's lots of different things you can do with this. And once you've got the idea, then you can just progress and do it for whatever occasion you want to. It's just something a little bit different. So let's pop that one onto there now. So now we've got our second wave crashing up onto the beach. And then this one, and obviously I can trim this down now, and so this one will go there. If you're not happy with it because you've got an extra piece, or you're using your scraps anyway, you can just delve in and get another one. What we could do at this point to make my life easy, I could actually just do that, make it really easy, and tear again like this. So I could just tear that, and as long as I try and keep it kind of the same width as I tear it up, so that I know when it goes on there, well, I can still take a bit more off there, so I can come on less of an angle. So let's do that a bit further like this. And again, it's all about just having a little bit of a play, really. And And there we go. So now I don't need to trim any off the bottom now. I can do that, and that's fine. Also as well, I'm using tacky glue to put them on. If you wanted to raise each of the waves up with foam pads or with your 3D glue gel, you could do that. So that would then make it more of a, what would we say, more kind of chunky, more of a mixed media type project. Okay. So we've got our little C on there now. Now what I did originally when I made it, I put the twine through the top and the ribbon, but I just didn't like this white bit. And I'll tell you what I did, so you can see exactly what I was thinking, because I put the stars on here and thought, well, they could kind of represent almost like starfish, if you like. And then I actually used some of the Coastal Collection shell dies. I didn't use the stamps, and I also cut them from my special papers, because in there's some kind of shell-like paper. And I thought, okay, do we put these at the top? And I kept looking at the white, thinking, no, it's not right, even with those there. So what I did was I kept those to one side, and I actually cut from a scrap I had. I cut a rectangle, and then I drew on the back of it. So I placed my rectangle. Let me show you. Imagine this is my rectangle. I placed this along the back, and I drew like through the circle so that I knew I had to snip at either side of that circle so that I could put these on. So let me turn them the right way around, because we've got the back panel showing there. So that's how I did that, and then trimmed off the edges on an angle. So we've got that. And I was much happier with that. I mean, with hindsight, I could have probably covered a piece of the multimedia board in cream card and then done it. So, you know, sometimes it's just, and I guess you do this as a crafter. I think this is what we do. We make something as we go along. We try things, and then after, when we come back, we go, oh, I could have done it like that, actually. And when I used to do a lot of magazine work, I used to do that. I used to make a project with everything I was given. They would say, can you make 3 projects from this kit? So I would make 3 projects, and then I would try and write the instructions, and then I would have to work backwards. And then I was thinking, oh gosh, if a customer was making this now and they were a fairly new crafter, how would they understand how to do that without me actually showing them visually? Because that's what I like, a visual demonstration. So I used to kind of have to go backwards and try and write it in a different way. So you know, I'm saying it now to you, that's how I did it. So things do change a bit, you know, as you're going along. So we're going to put some glitter paste on. So what I'm going to do before I do that, I'm going to bring in my stamp, and I'm going to do this in 2 parts, because then I know that I will have stamped it and it'll be fine. So we're going to use the Life's a Wave Catch It stamp. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to stamp the whole thing onto the C here, and I'm going to heat emboss it. And then what I'm going to do is stamp Life's a Wave, just Life's a Wave on here, and then that will sit over the top. So we've got a little bit of height down here and just a bit of difference. So let me grab the little stamping block from here, the platform, sorry. I didn't get it before, so I'll just grab that one now. There we go. I'll say the little one. This is a whopper, but it doesn't matter. A whopper, it's a whopper one. Whopper. But this is the one I always use at home as well. And I always carry it in my bag. So yeah, so I think now what we'll do then, now normally I would suggest you would get your anti-static bag and wipe over here. And I didn't do it at home because I'm sometimes like my anti-static bag is not on my desk or it's not nearby. So afterwards when I'd looked, I could see I'd got like a few embossed bits of the powder here. But you know what? I quite like that. Because it almost, again, adds to the sparkle we've got here and the sparkle we've got on the stones. So do you know what? I'm not going to be too particular about that. I'm just going to stamp it on there, and we'll bring in some powder, and then obviously we can heat emboss it. So let's do that now. So let's stamp it. And I'm using the, this is a Tropic blue, wasn't it? So this is one of the Shimmer pearlescent pigments. And as long as it's pigment ink, you know, if you've only got black pigment ink or you've got clear, you can use that as well. I thought, right, I'll do it so it's quite subtle on here. And then what I will do is I can put my silver powder on top, and it will still give me a bit of a blue tinge through the silver. Now, here's what you have to remember, because we're putting the tag on here as well, and the tag needs to not hang over the end. It's better that it's this way rather than too much that way. We need to bear that in mind as to where we're stamping it on here. So, what I am going to do is just kind of bring this down a bit and line that up with the mat. Okay, so we'll just try that again. I think that'll be fine. It's not, you know, it's not the end of the world if it's not quite right. Okay, so let's press that on there. And you can use whatever you want to for stamping, whether you use your platform, whether you use your rocker blocks, whether you use acrylic blocks, whatever you want to. And even if you're new, you might have inks and not have any blocks yet. And, you know, there's all kinds of things you can use. You can use like an empty CD case. You can use your Inkpad to put your stamp on. It'll stick on there. So there's always ways around it. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put some silver powder on here. Okay. I know my old tray, I've had this old tray for years, you know, and I don't know where it came from. I think it came from I think I bought it possibly when I went overseas. It might have been when I went to America actually to do some demonstrations and classes, and I saw it at a show over there and I just bought it. So again, it's just one of those things that I've kept forever, but it's pretty useful. It comes in for all kinds of things, and I just carry it around in my bag. Yeah, it's great when it changes, isn't it? Now I can see here as well there's a bit of embossing powder just below my life's wave, or kind of in between the two words. I'm not bothered about that because the tag is going over the top. So don't beat yourself up about it. I know we do it all the time. And, you know, it's just not worth it. Honestly, it really isn't. Now, what you can do as well, and let's try this on here, just as a little idea for you. Because if we grab a little sprinkle of embossing powder, and this might take, but it might not. If you don't go too near with your heat tool, or you put it on a lower setting that's a bit slower and a bit not quite as wild, and go quite high, obviously it'll blow some of it off. But then what it will do, it will melt it onto there. So we get like a little, it's almost like, I guess it's like granules of sand really. And it'll be really subtle, but I thought, let's try that. I don't mind trying it and messing it up if it means it gives you a little idea. It's like, yeah, like Jamie's saying, it's quite a nice, like a cool technique almost. And you've got that little spatter in there, which could be like grains of sand, but because we've done it in the silver, so I quite like that. You'll probably be able to see it if I lift it up. It's ever so subtle, just around the edges. Do you want me to do it through the front camera like that? Yeah, so it's very subtle, just round here. But you know, if you did this in like, maybe stamped it in brown and then put some gold powder on, you'd have gold, or you could do white, so it's like, matches your sand. So again, there's different ways of doing that. So what we'll do now, we're going to put some of the paste on. So I'm going to get out of my bag my one of my little spatulas. Let me see if I can get the one with the point on. So, and I'm using the textured glitter paste here. Now it does dry fairly quickly, and obviously what I've done, I've put it on quite sparsely. So I've grabbed, what I've done is I've grabbed like bits. I've tried to, let me bring it in a little bit over here and then you can see. So if I go down into the bottom there to where all those kind of little pink sequin effects are. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blob it on here and there. That is not a technical term. I'll blob it on. Jamie loves that. He says that should be actual crafting technical term. I think when I put it on at home, I did it with a finer, like a really pointed palette knife, spatula, but do you know what, it doesn't matter. Do you know what Jamie's asking? Could I use a poker tool? And do you know what, I looked at it and I thought, dare I use the poker tool? Yeah, as soon as you clean it, it will be absolutely fine. All I wanted to do was just get that kind of, like Jamie mentioned before, a bit like a sea foam effect. And the good thing is with this, you can spread it out and it doesn't take too long to dry, especially if you're doing it quite sparsely like I am. The other thing you could do, if you've not got glitter paste, just use some of your glitter. And if you wanted to, you could actually sprinkle some glitter into your paste as well. So you might want to do like a little bit of blue or something else. But again, I'm not being too particular about it. I just quite like the way it'll just sit on there like that. And then what we can do is leave that to dry, which shouldn't take too long. I think you can heat it up, but I don't usually bother. And then we can stamp our other little tag, and then we'll bring in the rhinestones at that point then. So there we go. So what we're going to do, we'll just finish this little bit and then we'll stamp the tag, and then we're going to have a quick little break, because then I can clear the area and just get my little finger protectors on and things ready with my little tip in the tool. So that will just give us a minute or two. And then you might want to go and just pop the kettle on, or depending on, yeah, it'll give you a bit more time to catch up as well if you're doing this as we're doing it. And if you are doing it, or you do one slightly differently, or you know, do an autumn one or something like that with all your products that you've bought recently from all the lovely things that we brought to you, then send us a picture, or put it on the Facebook page, or put it on my Facebook page, and then we can see what you've done. I know some of you already do that as well, which is lovely. But like I say, it'd be great to see what you make. And then we'll just pop our piece of cling film over the top of there. I mean, you can leave your silver foil on top of it that comes with it if you want to, as long as that stays covered. But the cling film is great because obviously you can throw it away and keep renewing it, so as you need to. So you can see now how that's really like kind of twinkly now, and I think that has made it better than it did when I didn't have that paste on. That was an afterthought, even though I wanted something on there. So we'll pop that to one side. I'll have a little tidy up, get my gems out and my rhinestones, and then we can come back and carry on with the next bit.
Hi, this is Alison Mason, and I'm in my favourite place, my craft room with a view. Why do I love Crafters TV? Many reasons. Lots of inspiration, incredible demos, fabulous products and tools that have certainly helped to improve my crafty skills. It's also great to interact with other crafters on the socials and also with the team. It's like being part of one big family. Keep up the good work. Thanks, guys.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty program today and receive 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits to joining Club Inspire include special members-only sales, and you can receive discounts or exclusive access to products, and even free gifts. You will receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro that you spend. And the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. See if you can craft your way up to our ultimate Club Inspire tier, Platinum, where you'll enjoy the very best discounts and rewards that we offer. As you keep climbing through the club, you can actually reach Platinum Plus and even Platinum for life. The more points you collect, the more you will be rewarded within our amazing special Club Inspire community. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Crafters TV, Janie Quigley here. We're in the merch. What's not to love about Crafters TV? Come on, the laughter. It's so good, the products. And you look at something and thinking, do I need that in my stash? And then you see the demonstrators and the cards that are being made and you think, yes, I want that. It's just done so cleverly and easy explained and fun. It's made fun. Crafting should be fun. I craft for pleasure. I craft because it helps me through my problems. It helps me de-stress. And watching Crafters TV, being able to talk to people, wow, from all over the world. I mean, that's not something I'd be able to do if it wasn't for Crafters TV. And to meet people, get to knowing people, and the laughter. Come on, the laughter. I mean, some days I'm crying with laughter. It's so funny. Ben, you're a hoot. Demonstrators are all so really clever and easy to explain what they're doing. I just love CCTV. I just love watching. Fills my day. I can get a little lonely. It just fills my day. It just makes everything right. Stops me from going loopy, which I am a little loopy. So thanks for everything that you do. Love you. Bye.
Welcome back. I hope you managed to get yourself a little drink and a biscuit, or take your shoes off and go and get your slippers on if you've been out. That's what I always do, straight to the bedroom, slippers on, shoes off, nice comfy trousers on. I'm constantly getting changed. So, as you were aware, we got to, on the tag, we got to this point. So we've already stamped and embossed and we've done our glitter paste. So that's just going to be dry now. So I'm just leaving that to one side. What we need to do now is we need to stamp the Life's a Wave onto the smallest tag that we've got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, let me get some of the tape actually. So a little trick here that you might not have tried. Years ago, if I had a stamp that said Life's a Wave, catch it, or say for instance something like, if I grab this and you'll be able to see, maybe I just wanted happiness from this one, happiness comes in waves. I used to end up just cutting my stamp really carefully. I'd cut it and it meant I could still put it back together on the stamping platform or the acrylic block if I wanted to stamp it as a full thing, but it meant I could then just stamp happiness on its own. But I don't want to do that with the stamps. If it's my own stamps that I bought, it doesn't matter. But when it's a product from the company and you are going to be using it on other shows as well, I want it to be intact. So what we need to do, and I find this is the best way, this is just for me, I mean other people do this, but everybody's got a different way. What I'm going to do, I just want ink on Life's a Wave. So we're going to put a bit of low tack tape just over Catch It. Okay, and then you take your ink pad and we'll just ink that up again as we did before. So we've got Life's a Wave. Put that to one side. And then what we can do, just take the tape off. Remember to take off the tape because otherwise you'll end up with a big mess on the bottom of your tag. And we don't need that now, so I can pop that to one side. That can go in the bin. And then we've just got Life's a Wave there now. So that's a useful thing to do. If you've not got low tack tape, masking tape, sellotape, sticky tape, washi tape, whatever you got will still do the same job. You just need to remember to take it off once you've actually inked it. So we're going to just line that up on there now. I'm just going to pop my head over the top for a sec, Jamie, just so that I can see. I think I'm on there. Obviously, I'm a little higher here than I am at home on my desk. So it makes it a little bit more tricky just to make sure it's lined up. But as long as you've got the idea how to do it and the technique, then that's the main thing. You can absolutely stamp it however you want to, yeah. And that's always a good sign for me. When it sticks to the ink, then it's good. Right, I'm quite happy with that. So again, let's bring in a little tray. you know, and you can use a margarine pot or a whatever you've got, an old ice cream tub or something, some of your packaging. You can get little trays in like the discount stores. So, right, so that looks like it's a good stamp. Now, obviously, because it's a small item, there's a chance it'll blow off when we put the heat tool on. So I'm just going to hold it with my pokey tool. Even though it's got a hole in here, if you hold it there, it'll still blow away or it'll swirl round. So I'm just going to hold it like that. Just be aware that your pokey tool will get hot. But as long as you're not using it for a few minutes, that'll be fine. There we go. And you know this pot of silver powder? You're not going to believe this. And it's a big pot that I got when I first started as a demonstrator in 2006. And I'm still using it. It's the same pot. And 2006, honestly, no word of a lie. And Jem is just saying he would have been 4 at that point. I don't know what I would have been at that point. Probably 2006. Well, it's almost 20 years ago, isn't it? So I'd have been 39 or something like that. So, which is quite frightening because I feel like that's quite old. But yeah, it'll be 20 years next year that I've been working as a kind of a demonstrator. So it's I never thought that would happen really, or where it would take me. I had lots of good, exciting trips and good work, you know, and it's hard work sometimes doing all the travel wherever you go. But it's meant I've been able to have a lot of fun and meet a lot of people the world over. And again, it'll be great because we're doing Crafterganza, so we'll be meeting lots of lovely people next year, and those things stay in your mind, you know, and they always look great when you're applying for other jobs and you put them on your CV. I've been across to Dallas, I've been across to France, I've been to Russia, you know, all the lovely places that you've been, and met lots of different crafters. Everybody does things differently. And everyone has different products, you know, it doesn't matter where you go. So it's lovely to be a part of that. We're very, very lucky. Right, so now we've got our little tag there. And the tag can go on there after, but I'm going to put my little rhinestones on first. And then the last thing we'll do is we'll put obviously we'll put some twine and ribbon through. So we'll bring in these 2 pots here. These are the ones I'm using. So it's the crystal pots, the 30 gram, and the 40 gram. The 40 gram is the one that's got the squares and the stars and the hearts in, which is what I want. And then the other one has just got some mixed sizes, 3 mixed sizes. So let's just grab, first of all, we'll grab 3 stars. So we're going to go with 3 stars. And what we'll do, now if you wanted to put more on, you could. And you could mix it up a bit. You know, if I bring in the original one, and now look at that one, with those there, I quite like that now. So you could mix it up a bit, couldn't you? You could make them a bit different. So I might do it like that because I think they resemble starfish. So what we need to do, the tool is off at the minute, so it's nice and cool. Now we've already got in here the flat-ended tip. This is the big one, which you use for anything out of that 40 gram pot, because the 40 gram pot has got the stars and the hearts and the squares, and they've all got a flat surface on top, whereas the little pots here, they've still got a flat top, but they're more domed, so we need something to go over the top of these. With these, the heat is going to penetrate through. So what we need to do, I'm going to switch this on. Obviously, if you've not used yours yet, when you switch it on, your red light will come on here, and that stays on all the time. It doesn't go green. I think it's a warning light to tell you it's on and it's hot. Now, if you've got a silicone mat or maybe a rubber mat or something like that you can put it on in between, then I would do that. Now, I've got one here that I had from an old foiling machine years ago, and it's great because it's got little dots on, but I have also got, and I'll show you this one as well. This is like a silicone hot glue mat, But I know that all the shops sell these now. Silicone is a big thing now, isn't it, for baking and cooking and making cakes and things like that. So if you see one, just grab yourself one. Because it's rubbery as well, it kind of will hold the tool. But you do get your stand, so you can put it on the stand. However, if you can get a mat that's got a ridge on, like this, that will mean it will kind of stay where the ridge is when you sit it like that. So I'm just waiting for it to heat up now. It doesn't take too long. In the meantime, I'm going to turn it off in between applications because we're going to do different tips in the end. And I have got, and I grabbed these online. These are just finger protectors and you can get them really cheaply now. If you've already got one of your, is it the, oh, what is it, Jamie? Was it the foiling machine? I think that might have come with some rubber things that you can, rubber grabbers. But there were about 16 of them in a tub, so in a box. So I've just got some of them, left them at home. I've got some up at down at Hobbymaker, and I've brought some in here as well, so we can leave these so that everyone's protected. So a good little thing to do is turn your tag round. That one. There we go. So, what we'll do now, I'm going to pop this. I've turned my tag upside down just to make it easy. Always use the tool, hold it here. Don't hold it down here because hot air does escape through there so it doesn't overheat. So it's always good to just protect yourself and hold it on the ridged bit. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it vertically on top of there. Now, we've done this on a lot of different cardstock. We've done it on paper. I've done them on glitter cards on a show a few weeks ago. We've done it on canvas, fabric. It loves canvas and it loves fabric. It loves like shoes. We've done them on little like croc shoes that are plasticky. It will adhere to most things, but obviously each one takes a different amount of time to put on there. So with some of them, I felt with the little ones, when I've put them on, I've almost felt like when the glue has melted, almost like the tool has just kind of dropped just slightly. I felt like, oh, it's melted now. That's what I felt. Now, what you can do, if it's not on there, which it is, give it a shove anyway and just check. And then do the same again on the next one. So it might be kind of, I'm looking at the monitor now, looking at the seconds ticking by, and I'm thinking maybe about 15 seconds possibly for a big one like this. We're up to 10 seconds now from when I looked at the clock. So we'll go through for we'll go up to like another 5 seconds, and then we'll try that and see if that's done. No, that needs a little bit longer. So again, with the bigger ones, you might need a bit longer. Yeah, you might need like 20 seconds or, but this is, see, now I feel now that just melted a bit. It's really weird. You'll know when you've got it. I feel like it's suddenly just, I feel like it didn't. It's not quite gone there yet, but we'll hold it on. Remember, the heat has to go down here and penetrate through the light glass gem. So it's, you know, you can, if you want to, kind of, you know, just wiggle it round, because that will then put the heat on the edge of the star prongs as well. I feel like that's on now. But so we've probably done like maybe 20, 25 seconds on that, even a bit more, 30 seconds. I think that's on now. So let's move this one in. We'll pull it up just a little bit there like that, so it looks a bit more random. Okay, so we'll just hold that on there now. So always try and keep it, you know, like, what's the word, Jamie, that I need to, so that it's upright, like straight. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, because it needs to spread that heat through. I mean, if you kind of tilt it, I don't think it will work. I think it needs to be like proper upright on top. And it does, I feel like it does adhere quicker to something soft like fabric, felt, denim, leather. You have to think everything is different. The thicknesses, the finished texture. And you have to remember this one, this is linen card, so it's quite heavily textured. So it might take a little bit longer because it's ridged, so it's not going on a flat surface. I did put some on the pocket of my jeans, and also on a shoe. I just did it on one shoe for a show. And then I took the shoes home and I thought, oh my goodness, am I going to finish that or not? So I tried to get the star off. Well, that was a job and a half, trying to get it off, because once it was on that canvas shoe, it was on and it wasn't going anywhere. So it does adhere fairly well. Right, so let's see now. Okay, so you can see they're on good. They're on good. Okay, so what I need to do now, I need to change the heads. So I'm going to turn that off. Just give it a second, and while it's cooling, what I can do now is I can I'll put the lid on there, and then we don't knock those off. I'll bring some of these in. Now, what you can do, if you think, how am I going to place them? Because sometimes if you're quite particular like me, you end up going, oh, I don't know how to place them. What you could do is did you just say just drop them on? Yeah, I was going to say, you can just drop them on. The only thing here, doing that, is you've got your wet paste, but you know what? You could just drop them on randomly. That was kind of the effect that happened with me, because I spilt them. But what I'll do, I will just grab. In fact, we've actually got I think we've actually got 4 sizes, haven't we? So you might not want too many of the big ones. And what I'll do, I'll probably get probably grab the pickup tool. Yeah, there's one there. And then we can just turn them over a little bit easier and move them about a bit. So it's quite nice, I think, as well, to have quite a few of the smaller ones on. They're just doing their own thing. And I think what happens is you find that all the tiny ones tend to drop to the bottom. So let's grab this little wax tool, which should help. And also you can nudge your gems with these as well. So you can see how much easier it is. You can turn them over with it as well, just like that. As long as you've got your finger to push it down. So I'm just putting them, I'm not doing anything particular regarding spacing. I'm just going to turn them over. I don't think I need that one at the minute. We'll keep that one there. We'll put that one there, I think, down at the bottom. Let's just see if we can flip that over. They've got a mind of their own. As you well know as crafters, with all our little gems and pearls and things, if they're not adhesive, they do have a mind of their own. But I just wanted this to be kind of like a glistening of... I don't know what I was trying to replicate, to be honest. I just wanted something to have a little bit of like a shine, and almost like specks of sand sometimes are a bit twinkly, aren't they? So, you know, a speck of sand can be, can glisten quite a bit. So I think I'm quite happy with that now. However, I might need to move this a bit because I've got to put my tag here. So we might move that further like that. And if you want to take one off, if you think, you know what, I don't even need that big one. I don't think we need that big one. So let's leave it at that. So what we'll do now is we will put some of these little finger protectors on, just while I take the tip out of here. And it'll probably still be a bit warm at the minute. And you feel like a bit, it feels a bit odd. You know, like if you imagine yourself like as Edward Scissorhands, you know what I mean? How awkward that would be. It's a bit the same, but it's better to just be protected. Yes, so what we need to do now is I want to just find the right tip for, so I think that's for the big one. So what I'm going to do, because this still may be hot, I'm going to just pop this in here. Now this is the trickiest bit, but once you start screwing it in, it's fine. So this is the other big head, but this is the one that's got like the concave, and I'm going to do the big gems with this. So we'll switch that on. That'll just take a minute, and then what we can do is we can start to just warm those gems up. Okay, so, and then once we've got the gems on, it's just a matter of putting the twine through and some ribbon. And again, I found some twine that had like silver threads through in my twine box. I've got rolls and rolls of twine. I was like, okay, let's just grab some. That kind of works. And then with this one, the original one, I actually took the silver out because it was going a bit kind of crazy everywhere for the photograph. So, but anyway, it's something a bit different, isn't it? It's just something nice. But because we've got lots of paste and things, now I'm wondering if this is too big, but we'll try it anyway. Because we've got lots of paste, I feel like you could do something for winter, summer, autumn and spring. And you could just then do them maybe on a card, like maybe a 4x4 inch or 3x3 inch, do something like that, make 4 little ones and put them in a frame. Right, I think I'll give it another minute. If it doesn't go, I think I might need to use the smaller concave one. I just thought I would give it a try with the big one. It might save a bit of time. Okay, so that's on. Well, that's good. So we'll do this one. And then we'll change the head again to do the smaller one. And obviously, it's going to take a little bit longer, but I think it's quite nice. We rush so much these days, trying to get everything into like a 10-15 minute demo, that it's nice to actually be able to just sit, and when you're at home, just sit and really enjoy, you know, the process of putting them on a slower speed, because life's so busy now and so fast that it's nice to just, that's on. Okay, so again, switch it off, grab my little protectors. And then the finger ones are fine. It's this one, I've done like a double one here. So what I've done is I've got a finger one on my thumb and then a thumb one on my thumb. There we go. So let's just grab that one, put that on the mat. You can see how it's a little bit awkward like that. But, okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put I just need to take these off while I check which tip I need now. So I think that's for that one. So let's do that one. And again, if you're not letting it cool down in between, even though you switched it off, do still wear something protective on your fingers, whether it's an oven glove or a silicone mitt or whatever, because as soon as that tip makes contact with this hot metal, it starts to get hot. And I tried that at the beginning when I first got the rhinestones, and I was like, oh, this is, you know, I need to really be careful. So again, it's fine. Just make sure you think about the safety aspect. So this one now is going to go onto these here. So we've got this one here. We've got 1, 2, 3. I think we've got about 6 of this size. So hopefully we'll be able to get them all on. But if not, it's fine. There we go. So they don't take too long. Once the tip is hot, they will stay. It will stay hot. That's fine. Doing all right. It's liking it. It's liking it, which is good. I think my favourite ones, I do like this size, but I do like those tiny little ones. I think they're really cute. Okay, I think that one is the same size. We've got another 2 of those. Oh, that one's not bonded yet. Let's give it a bit more of a push. And don't forget, you can push them down. It's absolutely fine to push on top of them. It really is. You know, and to wiggle it a bit like that. But as long as that is upright, that gives the best. Have we done that one? No. That gives like the best heat and distribution. That's the word, Jamie. Thank you. Jamie's got the big words. It does make me laugh as well. Okay. So, that one's on, that one's on, that one's on, that one's on. That one's on. Yeah, that was, you're right. Good job somebody's paying attention. Okay. So what I'll do when I put the next tip in, I'll stick this on while we're waiting for it to warm up a little bit. And then hopefully, see, I can feel now that under there, I can feel like the glue is kind of, you know, when you put something on tacky glue and you move it a bit, or like, no, that's a wrong example. If you've got a gem, See, I've moved that one now off the glue, but it's all right. It's turn that off. It's got, when you've got an adhesive, see, I've moved a couple of them now because I've wiggled them, but hey, it doesn't matter. It's okay. So now we've got the tiny one. So the tiny one is that one, isn't it? So we've got a tiny head, and then we've got like a couple, and if we don't get them all on, it's fine. We've still got the one that we can show you that we did originally, but we can put them together, can't we? Just put them side by side, and then you can see the difference. Right, so I'll switch this back on, and then pop that down for a second, and I'll just pop our tag on with the tacky glue. If you wanted it to be even higher, you could do it with some silicone gel, glue gel, or you could do foam pad, whatever you want to. Totally up to you, but I just wanted to give you the idea. And it's nice to do a craft along with the rhinestone tool, because I feel even though we've shown it quite a lot and a lot of people have bought it, we've not really done that much with it. You know, that could give you maybe a bit of inspiration to get it out of the box and have a go if you've not already done. And don't forget as well, you could always add some of your small gems onto like these bits here. You could always do that. So let's now put that one. So we've got a couple of small ones, and I think we've got a couple that we've not put on. Yeah, that's the size we've not put on. We've got 3 of those, but it doesn't matter. If we don't get them on, I can do them after the show, and then we've at least got 2 projects finished. And don't forget as well, if you've got your ink and you've got some of your little blending sponges, you could always go around the edge with some inks. That would be quite nice. Maybe add a couple of real seashells if you've got some little shells. I've got loads of shells, but they were all too big. Or I would have put some proper seashells on. But you know, you might have been to the beach, you might want to pop a little photograph up there, or a ticket, or something like that. If you've been to the, you know, been on a donkey ride, for instance. If you're in this country, I don't think that's something they do overseas, do they? I don't know. I think there's little donkeys here like to, yeah, ride up and down the beach. I actually watched something the other day. It was one of those, I don't know if anyone over in the States has seen these. They are the animal, what they call those animals? Creature comforts. If you put creature comforts in on YouTube and watch some of those crazy, crazy sketches on there of the animals, like the donkeys, and a lot of them actually sound like they've got the Newcastle like accent. Yeah, so they're very, very funny. Very, very funny. Okay, so we've only got a minute or so left now. If I can get this on here, what I will do, well, that one's warming up. Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm just going to thread this through. On my original one, oh, I've dropped those off there now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Oh, gosh, I've dropped 3 or 4 off there now that I've not put on yet because the tip is still warming up. But on the original one, I've actually doubled up the twine and the ribbon. But on this one, I think I'm just going to do it singly. And then, so how long have we got now, Jamie? Okay, all right, so let's pop that one there. So obviously I'm going to put the rest of the gems on here, but if we bring in the original one there, you can see how they differ slightly, but obviously we've just moved the gems around. But have a go. If you do actually make anything like this, or with the rhinestone applicator, something like that, just drop us a photograph. I'd love to see what you do, or in fact anything that you've got your rhinestone stone on. You can go onto I'm a Crafter's Companion and pop your pictures on there, and hopefully you'll have a go with the rhinestone tool and you'll be able to make some nice little tags. Thank you for watching. It's always lovely to have your company, and I am sure I will see you very soon on either another craft along or one of our daily shows throughout the day. So have a lovely day and we'll see you soon.